Welcome back, everybody, to the Versus Evil live show. We are still here at PAX East, of course. We haven't moved. And we've got some really exciting stuff. We're going to take a look at Banner Saga 3, and we have a special guest here with us. Thank you so much for joining us, Zeb.
Glad to be here, yeah. Thanks for having me.
So great to have you. So we're really excited to learn more about Banner Saga 3. And we're going to start off with a short little recap of Banner Saga 2. So I think I'll just hand it over to you. You can take it away and tell everyone who might not know anything about the game what they need to know if they want to get into 3.
Okay. Well, yeah, if you're just coming into 3 cold, you know, like, obviously it's pretty fun to play Saga 1 and Saga 2 because we carry forward all your choices for good or bad. We carry forward all of your characters that you've lost or characters that you've managed to survive with here until the end of all things. And we also give you like a recap video at the beginning. So, you know, players who just want to hop in, they'll be able to. But, you know, when we release Saga 3 this summer, we'll be bundling it with 1 and 2 for players who kind of want to go through the whole experience.
Well, that's what's so special about this game. As someone I want to make sure everyone's aware of, you can literally import everything you do from the first game to the second game. Now we're ending the trilogy. You bring it with you.
Yeah.
And it's something that you really don't want to, usually, you don't want to sleep on. It's something that we're seeing a lot more in games. Oh, there we go. It's something that you see more in games.
Oh,
so
it slipped down. And
look, it keeps falling on me.
Your beautiful hair.
My hair is refusing to not get all the shine. No, what I was saying was it's something where when you import and you go from 1 to 2, now you're in 3, things are happening from 1 that you're not even aware of, that you probably don't even remember.
yeah, really small choices that you make in Saga 1 will carry with you into Saga 3. It'll actually be kind of fun. There's like, you know, we're sort of insane for making this many branching decisions and choices and outcomes and stuff like that. It's like when we, you know, charted it all, it looks like in a movie when you see like a conspiracy theory dude in his mom's basement with just this thing on the wall that's got yarn and pictures. Like, that's what our plot diagram looks like.
Oh, that makes me so excited.
Yeah.
I love
I'm
games
scared at
like
the
that.
same time.
Yeah, I know.
I'm scared.
Every little thing matters.
Yeah, in AAA games, you get a lot of pressure not to create content for very small portions of people, but in indie games, we don't have those restrictions, so we just go ham on it. Yeah, like there's a character named Gil that is very hard to. It's not that he's hard to keep alive. It's just he has many opportunities to die.
Okay.
And you get an achievement in Saga 3 if you've carried him through all the way.
So fortune's not in his favor.
Yeah, and then
Poor guy.
there's some characters who've built a little bit of a romance with him, so they'll probably get some payoff for that in Saga 3. But you know, we could have easily not made that choice just because it's like so few people, like maybe 8% of players have kept this guy alive. So.
I'm curious to see the upgrades coming into 3. I know with 2, we ended up getting victory conditions and new abilities, along with adding new different crews and things like that. So what will we be seeing in 3 as far as upgrades?
Yeah, in Saga 3, you know, we're trying to just we're kind of making it an even experience through the 3. So we're not going to do a big jarring switch on you like, oh, now it's a third-person over-the-shoulder shooter. And that's nothing like that. But we have enjoyed making evolutionary changes, like in the combat. You know, like we like to play, you know, we get a lot of feedback from players because we've done Kickstarters for the 1st and 3rd game. And for the 3rd game, we really just did it because we wanted that feedback with the community, that loop of like, hey, let's send you an alpha version of a battle and hear what you think and make some tweaks and adjustment based on that. So well, let me get into the Saga 3 and I can show you like within the game. So this picks up right where we left off in Saga 2. You have this split story. You have one party that's going into the darkness to sort of solve this apocalyptic problem, and then you have one party that's arboring the last bastion of civilization. All the Horseborn are coming and crowding into the city. The Varl are trying to get in. The Dredge are even at the gates. The darkness is behind them. So you have this pressure cooker, and then you have this small party of adventurers trying to go and solve this problem. So that's the party that you see right in front of us. These are the people in the darkness. You have the Ravens back here. They're the mercenary group that you kind of tricked into coming along with you. And then Juno and Ivan, who seem to know how to solve. They say they know how to solve this thing, but you also have the sense that maybe they're responsible for it as well.
I'm very much afraid of the Dredge coming in this time around because they were a lot more vicious in 2. So I feel like in the Serpent,
more vicious now.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so here's the Serpent. You know, this is right where you ended in the Tower of Manahar in the rubble. Bulwark is awakened. you know, because the serpent has dripped this mystical venom into his face.
Sounds uncomfortable.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't want to be him. Yeah.
Excuse you.
He was peacefully dead moments ago, and now reawakened. So this is Juno casting her spell of light to carry this party into the darkness. And as you see, it closes around them, and they're going where no living thing should be able to go.
I'm always amazed by the graphics. Like, this game is just visually stunning, and the music is amazing.
Yeah.
I noticed that right off the bat, and I love that you can actually zoom in.
Yeah.
And I learned that very late, so that's why I'm saying it.
Yeah.
I love that you can
know.
zoom. Yes, and you
Yeah.
can see like your caravan and people with you. You can see that.
Yeah, Arnie Jorgensen is like, you know, he's the creative director, and he's sort of the artistic director as well. So he has this distinct visual style. He has kind of a comic book background, but also is very senior in the video game industry. We also have Igor Artemenko and Danny Mole assisting kind of with building these beautiful warped landscapes that just, they look like paintings.
It really is visually stunning.
Yeah. We've been really lucky to carry the whole team through us with the whole trilogy. So we have Austin Wintory back doing a beautiful fantasy orchestral soundtrack.
The music adds so much
God.
to this game.
It's
Tears
chilling.
in my eyes.
I know. Like we're holding it back for this for this stream. So you'll get to like listen to this crazy warped version of all of those familiar themes from the previous games.
That's great.
Yeah, it's good. So this is where Folka kind of discovers that she's being tricked, kind of mind controlled. This is one of Juno's abilities. I'm going to respond fast and hard with a show of force.
Those are those choices we talked
man.
about.
Yeah.
I spend so much time like deliberating what I want to choose to. I'll sit there
Yeah.
for like 20 minutes, like which line's gonna have the best outcome. I don't know.
You're trying to foreshadow what may happen.
Yeah.
Process of elimination. Like, what could go wrong here?
Yeah.
Yes.
How can I mitigate?
Yeah,
Sometimes
exactly.
it's just like, how can I do the least harm?
Yes. I've accepted I'm gonna do harm, but
Yeah.
what is the least amount of harm
Yeah.
I'm gonna
We
do?
love to like watch streams of players playing, and they'll just stop and they'll be like, "Oh no, please."
And you know which one's right.
Yeah, we
You're just
know,
like,
we know.
It's
behind
like we
the
got
scenes.
another one. They're high-fiving each other. Did you guys see that? We got him.
So Ivor here is your point of view character. So he's kind of caught in the middle. He's been sort of dragged along, and he's a salty old Varl as well. You know, he's kind of seen it all. Doesn't really want to be dealing with this, but he's sort of the neutral character between the Ravens, who are just sort of waking up to the fact that they've been mind controlled, and the Spellweavers, Juno and Ivan, who they kind of, everybody sort of blames them for this.
I love Ivor. I love that he's complained since the first scene of the game.
Yeah.
And now we're on the very last game, and he's still here mad.
Yeah.
It's like
He's
he doesn't
never
want
happy.
But he's never leaving.
Yeah, he's
It's like
a
an
steady
angry
guy.
girlfriend. Like, I'm just going to nag you the entire time,
Yeah.
but I'm never going to go.
Yeah, he lost an arm in the first game. You know, he's hanging in there by a thread. Yeah, so Juno, you know, she's getting some grief. Arnie loves to voice this character when we do playthroughs. He's always like, "Everybody, shut up!" This is Spar. You hear that?
That's amazing.
That's my impersonation of Arnie's voice for Spar.
We need to hear him do that later.
Yes.
Spar is like
We'll have to ask
the
him
skull.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, so that takes us right into it. So, you know, they hear a noise close by. They're already in this sort of warped world. And this is where we first kind of see that the battle board has changed, and that we have these warped characters in the darkness. So these are familiar characters from the previous games. There's a Varl and a Spearman and an Archer, Shield Banger down here. But you see they've been warped and twisted because they got caught out in the darkness. And that's what it would do. That's what would happen to them if they weren't out inside this protective bubble of light of Juno's.
So it's a new spin on what we have become familiar with.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
exciting.
Yeah,
You get to see what happened to them.
Yeah.
And any change in combat, we try and support it with the story. So let me just show you the first change that players will notice. So here at the top of the screen, there's normally the morale horn. So when you get a kill, you can increase your willpower. And anyone can use it to get a little bit of extra strength or a little bit of extra movement. Here in the darkness, that's changed. At the very end of Saga 2, Ivan, the magic user, he fried Ducey with lightning, who was the head of the Valka Council, the Mender Council, and took his staff. So you have that staff now available to use.
Oh, man.
And it casts his chain lightning, but any character can use it on their turn.
That's an amazing
I
upgrade.
love that attention to detail, too. That is incredible.
The next thing players will notice is down here there's actually a counter. And we've never had this before. It's always been kind of a game of chess where you can take your time with your moves. But now there's, you know, for this party in the darkness, they're in a bit of a race against time. So each of their battles is also a bit of a race against the clock.
So the pressure is on.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
As if the pressure wasn't already on.
Yeah.
The pressure's double on
As
now.
if you needed more to worry
You've
about.
doubled down on my misery. This is awesome.
Yeah, so so let's just get into it. You know, it's, you know, players who've gone with us throughout the whole journey, you know, they'll still enjoy like the tactical turn-based combat that they love. But you know, we just kind of like try and twist it a little bit, like change their expectations.
I'm loving this counter because, I mean, if you were lucky enough to have people survive to the third game to begin with, now you lose them because you only had 40 seconds to think it through.
Yep.
Oh, man.
You got to be quick. I love that.
Yeah, and there's a risk reward associated with this as well. So if the counter reaches 0, another wave of dredge, it will be upon you.
Oh, no.
And good luck with that.
Yeah.
But if you beat the wave before the turn counter ends, then you can choose whether you fight or flee.
Okay.
So you can flee. Say you enjoy just the story mode, and you're just like, I just want to know what happens next. You know, I'm not great at these battles. I just want to kind of like press on with the story.
So that means we have new victory conditions.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or if you love the tactical combat and you're like, I'm good at this, I like this, I want to keep doing these battles, then you can press on, and the reward that you'll get, there'll be like a mini boss in the last wave, and they drop an item. And in Saga 3, that's the only way you can get items. Like, since everything has been warped, there's no towns to stop in, there's no marketplaces to trade.
So you have to survive.
Yeah. So that's going to be one of the main ways that players can kind of beef up these characters going through the darkness.
Well, I was going to ask. Say I'm the slowest player ever, which is probably true.
Yeah.
How many waves do we have to endure?
It kind of varies. I think we have some wave battles. This one's 2. This is just kind of like your intro to that system, so we take it a little bit easier on you and give you more turns. But later on in the game, there'll be ones with 3 and maybe even 4 waves.
Do you know in advance?
Yeah.
Is it something you know in advance, or does it just keep coming?
Oh, that's a good question. I think it lets you know.
Okay. I thought you were withholding information from us.
No, I wouldn't do that to you.
I would like to. Yes, I would love to know. Like, am I going to survive this?
Yeah.
One more wave, and you think you're done, and then something.
Nope, you're not done. Have fun. Good luck.
Just kidding.
Let me see if I've got a good opportunity for. All right. Let's not do this yet. Let's cast some troll stones over here. I'm going to try and block this big Varl from coming any closer. You know, we've a lot of the new mechanics for Saga 3, one thing that we saw a lot of players do and enjoy is positioning, you know, where you're like, okay, this kind of 2x2 Varl wasn't able to get to me because I blocked him with this 1x1. You can end up blocking your own units, you know, but we really took that positioning idea to heart, and we're like, okay, let's try and introduce some fun mechanics around that. So the Valka Spear reinforces that because Chain Lightning arcs to anyone on a diagonal. So it's a blessing and a curse in that way, where you really have to think about it, where you're like, okay, cool, if I hit this guy, then I'm also going to fry that guy as well. But here's Folka on the diagonal, and if I accidentally do that, then she takes some damage too. Oh, but it also arced to that guy because he was on the diagonal. So there's just like some fun puzzle, puzzle mechanics in the positioning that we hope players will enjoy.
Would you say that's the biggest difference from the combat in Banner Saga 2?
That's just something that we've taken a little further. You know, we introduced some destructible objects on the battlefield in Saga 2. You were talking about the snow earlier that you're hacking away at to try and get some better positioning. We actually did some interactable objects in some of these battles. So like a fire brazier that you can kick over onto,
I love that. That's
onto
so
an oil
awesome.
slick. So you'd be like, okay, cool,
Everyone's
I blocked
on
them
fire.
off. You know, and now I can flank them from this direction.
Now, if you do these things, like you block them off, are you able to flee? Or you're still fighting, you're just fighting under new tactical grounds?
Yeah, you're
trying to find ways to get
out of
these
this.
Yeah, you're trying to find new and exciting ways to run away. That's understandable. Yeah, it's up to you. You know, like you can get them in a position where you can just now they're susceptible to your range units. You can just pluck, you know, shoot arrows over the fire at them.
Distance game.
Yeah. So Juno, who we were talking about, who's been this shady character, she's now playable. She's never been playable in the Banner Saga before. So it'll be fun to play with her. As I was saying, you know, she mind controlled the ravens, these mercenaries, to come with you. So you actually have this confuse ability that you can use now with her. So let me move her a little closer if I can, actually. Oh, I already used her movement. Okay, so say I use confuse on this guy. Oh, it's better on this guy, because he has more strength, so he can hit a little harder. So confuse, see, he tried to run away. He tried your tactic. But they also have the option to begin to attack each other as well. All right.
Oh, I love when they get the options to beat each other. It makes our lives easier.
Yeah.
You guys fight each other.
I'll just watch from back here and watch you kill each other.
The pacifists run because you hurt no one. They hurt each other.
There you go.
So, oh, he's got a low chance to hit. Maybe I'll risk it. Let's see. Maybe I can use his ability. If I use Axe Storm. So if I get another... Oh, it doesn't want to do it. Let's see. If I get another kill... Oh, he missed. If I get another kill, though, that will charge up my Valka Spear again.
I absolutely love the visuals and how you can tell with each game the worlds are changing. Like, you know you're still there, but things are happening. Now you have, like, the smoke going around, and I think that's awesome.
Yeah, there's just like these particles of darkness coming out. You know, we put all this detail in the battlefields as well for you if you kind of just, you know,
it has an eerie feel.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's so, like, visually stunning and pretty to look at, but also it makes you feel creeped out at the same time.
I feel like I'm scared for them. With every move I make, I'm like, I'm taking them closer.
I'm sorry, I don't want to kill you, but I might by accident.
So one thing that just happened here, too, Juno took a killing hit blow from this guy, I think it was the spearman who took her out, but you can see that she reappeared there in sort of ghostly form. So on her turn, I'll show you kind of that new mechanic. So, you know, that's happened various times with that character in the story, so we sort of wanted to integrate that with her abilities as well. So she actually has this ability called, we call it immortality, but I think it has a more...
That just made me very happy because my heart dropped when I looked, I said, is Juno on the floor? It's over already?
Yeah.
She's dead?
Yeah. So she actually has been, you know, like when you find her, she appears to be dead. And that's the whole reason why the serpent seems to be pursuing you. So this is her on her turn. So you can see that she's kind of in this ghost world. You know, she's, her corpse is corporeal, but her body is not. And then these little wispy lava lamps of darkness, dark energy are there on the battlefield, and so her kind of mini game is to go around and collect these, and then you can get back to her corpse and she can come back to life.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Magical lava lamps.
Exactly.
I noticed that they are spaced out very well. So that's going to be a grind trying to get to all of
I know, yeah. You're gonna have to hustle with her for sure.
Especially because now you're racing against the clock. See how it all comes back to one.
Yeah, I'm down to 27 turns. Okay, anything else I wanted to show you here? All right, I'm gonna use some developer magic. I'm gonna use up my.
Is that an ability in the game that we can use?
Developer magic.
I like dev magic.
Oh, I accidentally killed Spar with my. So you got to be careful with this Valka Spear. It doesn't pull any punches. Okay, I'll take this guy out and I'll charge up my Valka Spear some more. These guys aren't on diagonals, so they're not that susceptible. Anyway, I'll use my developer magic to kill everybody. That's a button that will be turned off for the gamer at home.
Calm down, guys.
Look at that.
You're not getting that.
So here we are in the phase that's called respite. And you can see you now have this new UI element that allows you to fight or flee.
Okay.
So if you're like, I want to get with this story and just keep going, I want to know what's happening with these characters, then you can flee, and there's no penalty for that. But let's just fight on and see what that's about. So this is brand new. You get a reinforcement phase. So a few new things happen. One, you see these red dots on the side of the battlefield. That's where the next wave of enemies are going to come from. They are, you don't get to know exactly where they're going to land, but you know where they're coming from. So you can kind of, readjust here. So you're like, oh, I don't want my archer way out there. Like we're not going to try and surprise you like that. But you don't have all the information.
But okay. At least you get an idea of what's to come.
Exactly. And now you're able to actually pull in some characters from your caravan.
So in between waves, you can
reinforce.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Blessing and curse.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I'm going to pull in Alfred. It automatically pulled the 2 characters that died off. It didn't pull Juno off because she's still there in ghost form. We'll keep her around so she can collect these little lava lamps. But I will pull in Alfred, who's a new playable character, and the playable Dredge. So this guy is really fun because we did a Kickstarter for Saga 3, and one of our stretch goals was to make the Dredge playable by the characters, by the player, playable by the player. Yeah, that makes sense.
There you go.
That makes sense to no one. So this is really exciting and fun for us. You know, they've been this sort of menacing force, but you've somehow been able to communicate with them, and now some of them are on your side.
Summer friendly.
Oh, look at that. Out of all of the characters that you can play as, which would you say is your personal favorite?
Mine? I'm a big Folka fan. She's a great tank. She's
Tanks
got like the shield wall. I think, you know, she's kind of like the secret leader of the Ravens. You know, they've got this like berserker guy who is really, he went totally nuts in Saga 2, and Folka really holds it together. So I appreciate her from a leadership standpoint. I just also think she looks like kind of a badass.
It's always a plus.
Yeah. All right, so I clicked ready, so another wave has appeared. Here they are.
I'm curious to see where they come in from. Oh, there they are.
Oh man, he's gonna hit hard on my playable Dredge. Oh boy, I might have to move this guy back. So these guys, you know, they had this crazy summon that they would do. They were kind of the harbingers of Eyeless, the big Sunder in Saga 2. But you would see them do this umbrage, this little creepy kind of the way that Dredge casts spells using resonance, like they kind of make this crazy tuning fork. Whenever I would see them do that, I would always be terrified personally. So it's fun to now have that ability on your side. So Alfred also took a big hit there. I saw these 2 line up on a diagonal, so I'm going to take advantage of that, and I'm going to fry them a little bit with my Valka Spear. And you can see that this just kind of softens them up. And you can use it as many times as you want. And if I kill one of these enemies, I'll get another charge of it, so you can kind of chain it. So there's just some fun new mechanics with that. Alfred has one of my favorite new abilities that we created called Ride the Lightning.
It sounds awesome.
Yeah. And where she just kind of comes in here. She's sort of a ranged melee attacker. So you can see she kind of bamfs in and then bamfs out.
I love that. Because
so
you get in and you get out. I love
She's got a really fun story too. She seems to have mender powers, but she learned them outside of the whole paradigm of mender. So she's like a little bit of a wilder. They have this trial that you go through, and you're like, what happens to people when they fail the trial? Well, you kind of find that out from Alfred. Some people who are like hardcore into our lore sort of know what the story is of that.
There's a lot of lore to be had in this game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's lore city over here. So I collected some willpower with Juno, so I'm going to walk back to her corpse and bring her back to life. There she is. And then I'll use her confuse ability over here to try and get a free hit. He's not near anybody, so he's probably just going to flee. It's okay. I'll take that over getting pummeled. Yeah, I'm not sure what else in here to show you that's new in combat.
Everything you've shown us so far has been really cool.
Yes, and the upgrades, I'm excited about them. And again, just the look, I'm just staring at it, and I'm waiting for something to happen.
Yeah. It's the very edge of your seat, just intense. Yeah.
Ivan just took his death blow there, so he's knocked out from now. One thing you can see down here too. So this is the reward. You can see that the little ring icon on him shows that he has an item. So that's that mini boss that I was talking about in the final wave. So you know that if you kill this guy, then you'll get the troll ward.
So you'll know what you'll get before you... Okay.
Yeah. And that unit is also benefiting from that item during this fight too. So that's what makes them a little bit tougher as well.
Now, being that this is going to be predominantly the only way you get rewards, will you be able to get the same reward more than once?
No, all these items will be unique.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're new for Saga. You know, we introduced items in Saga 1, but we've been kind of expanding on how many we have, and I think we're up to like 100 items or something at this point. And they're just getting more and more powerful because these battles are getting tougher as well. And if you choose to press on in these fights, these can be really challenging.
Well, I can tell. You're going to have to think through who you give what to.
Yeah.
God forbid it goes wrong, they're not giving it back.
Yep, that's it.
I saw these guys were lined up again, so I used my arc lightning on them. I got 3 of them. We've seen people chain up to 7, and that was the guy who had the troll ward, so you can see I got that item.
Now, once you get the reward, do you still finish the fight, or can you still finish, or do you have the option to say it's over?
Yeah, you'll have to finish the fight. Yeah.
I'm looking for those conditions.
Like, how soon can I run away
how
from
can
this?
I make a run for it, please?
Can I make my
I
exit?
want my rewards, but I also don't want to die.
All right, yeah, she walked over this these little warped ash piles, and that drains your willpower. And so that's going to be a kind of a more precious resource in this darkness combat than players might be used to.
It's going to affect your strategies as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And I noticed Juno's back up. You were able to get all the lava lamps.
Yeah, you only have to get 1, but if you collect more, then she generates more willpower and more strength.
Okay.
So you can bring her back close to full health, but it'll take you a while. Maybe we can ride the lightning one last time here. That's fun. Oh, she also has strength of will, so this is an interesting one. She's the first character that we've had who's able to actually heal strength. We're very stingy with that because we want you to make tactical moves and stuff like that. But
don't make it easy.
Yeah, Alfred is able to do that, but we'll ride the lightning just because it's entertaining to watch.
That move alone, I'm sold.
It's so cool.
And then you jump back. I love it.
Yeah, we had fun creating that one. All right, I'm going to use my hacks here to kill these guys.
Magic.
Again, you guys don't get this.
No,
don't remember this.
Not for the
I
viewer
wish
at
we
home.
did.
Yeah.
I'm trying. I'm making a friend before I go home.
Yeah. And I got my troll ward. That will help me through the darkness.
There we go.
Yeah. One thing that we've been trying to remember to talk about is that we're going to be releasing the games on the Switch as well. Our community has been wanting this for a long time.
I saw that, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, in secret, we've been kind of developing it. We really wanted to make sure that we were close to finished, and we're already in kind of certification with Nintendo with the first game. They've been great to us. They've given us some good promotional opportunities with their Nintendo Indies event, which we're really appreciative of. Yeah, we're one of their Nindies. And I think these games are going to be great on the Switch. Like
they're perfect.
Yeah, it's so fun to just kind of
you take it it's on the go. The Switch is it's portable.
Yeah,
I love it on airplanes. Except I worry about playing this game in public because I feel like I might get really upset and then look like a crazy person in public.
Can we do you need help?
Cursing or crying.
Yep.
Yeah.
You'll be saying he's gone.
Yeah.
I worked so hard. They're like, who's gone?
Yeah. And this is really the bread and butter of the Banner Saga. This is the story mode where you get the full the close-ups of the characters and you get to make consequential choices. This is really where your characters will live or die based on what you think is the right thing to do.
And I absolutely love the dialogue.
Yeah.
And there are very witty moments in this game.
Yeah, we have Alex Thomas back as the writer for the 3rd Saga. He was on break for Saga 2. And yeah, he's written some wonderful dialogue, really funny stuff for these reluctant mercenaries who got dragged along on this. They really still want their paycheck, even though they're in the middle of the apocalypse. So there's some good...
Just in case, on the off chance we survive this, pay me.
I need to have my money.
Yeah, exactly. I'm expecting to get paid.
I want my 401k. Yeah, I earned it.
If currency is a thing after all this goes down, then I'm going to want mine.
I'm going to be entitled to it.
Yeah. This is Valgard. This is an interesting kind of branching choice. Like, you encounter him, and he fights alongside you in the first battle in Saga 1, but then he stays back in Strand. But that's the city that you've just come into, so somehow Valgard has managed to survive. So,
that's so cool.
Yeah, this is just like us kind of carrying forward.
Back.
Yeah, like your choices from Saga 1.
Those questions.
Yeah. Yeah, we're just kind of unraveling the mystery. I think players are going to be satisfied because there's just like, what is this world-eating serpent? What is this wall of darkness? How is Juno coming back to life? All that information is going to come to a head and be revealed.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of questions we all want answered, I'm sure.
Yeah, and we've really tried to deliver a range of endings. We're not trying to funnel you into the good ending or the bad ending. I made the nice guy ending, or I picked all the bad guy choices. We really wanted to give a spectrum so that you could feel like this was my saga. I chose to sort of let civilization burn, or I tried at every chance to create alliances between these different races. You know, hopefully you will see the consequence of the choices that you made reflected in the ending that you get.
I love that too, because there's so much replayability with that. Like I know I'm gonna want to play through multiple times and make different decisions to see what happens.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. So this is how we kind of transition. We did some new kind of map pans.
That looks
so cool.
I
love
it.
Oh
my goodness.
So you're back here with Rook and Arborang, and you can see the wall of darkness is encroaching. This is humanity's last peninsula.
Oh no.
And you can see there's the dredge outside on the wall with the wall of darkness kind of coming behind them in this big bubble. The humans thought they were safe in this city, and they're out of luck.
They thought wrong.
And there you can see that, like, something's going to go down here in the city. They're in a city under siege. And then this is kind of the beautiful panorama view that will be
yours.
That is stunning.
Yeah. And this is, like we were saying, like the detail in here is ridiculous. I just love to play, like, Where's Waldo, zooming in here.
When I figured out you could zoom in, that changed everything.
Yeah.
Changed your entire life.
It was life-changing. Like, this is an entirely new game.
Yeah.
I'm ready now.
Yeah, like throughout the chapters that take place in Arborang, you know, you'll have, you know, maybe someone attacking this wall and it may fall. You'll have a riot going on in the market over here, and if you let it go, then maybe there'll be a fire that breaks out, and you have to decide whether you send people there to deal with it or if you just let that go. So there'll be some wonderful, painful choices.
You have 500 clansmen. I'm staring at. I'm like, how did you keep 500?
Yeah.
Developer magic.
Dev
exactly.
magic.
Developer magic. Yeah. Yeah. Like the amount of renown that you have here is kind of staggering.
I'm just looking at it like I want to play.
Yeah.
I need that dev
this
magic.
save file.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll show you a couple of these fun character things that we've adjusted. So this is a different playable dredge that you'll get. And you can see he's level 10. So, you know, in the first game you can rank your characters up from level 1 to 5. In the second game from 6 to 10. And now from 10 to 15, if you level them up to 11, you get a heroic title. So
oh, wow.
This is a new system where you kind of, it's almost as if you're, you know, we love those, the way that, like, Viking characters in the sagas earn their name, like Eric the Red or Leif the Lucky or Harold Bluetooth, you know, which is where we get that term, like, Bluetooth that they use. So we wanted to kind of reflect that with the characters when they get to, like, uber epic level in these higher levels. So if I level this guy up for a bunch of renown, see, I have, like, ridiculous renown because I'm a cheaty developer. But you will probably have agonized over what you spend these on throughout the games.
Yes.
If you save some, you'll be rewarded here. If you don't have any, then you will probably be wanting to fight those extra wave battles in order to get more kills, to get more renown. But now you can see I have this heroic titles option. Scalds sing the names not of simple people, but of the legends that they have become. So you can see I can make him Bulwark Bloodletter, or Death's Messenger, Dredgebreaker, which would be ironic for him because he's a dredge himself, Monster Killer, Oathmaker, Shadow Walker. And this really kind of gives you that extra level of customizability where you're like, okay, he's a Stone Guard. Let me give him incredibly awesome armor on top of what he already has and make him my tankiest tank ever.
I was looking at that, so you get perks for each one of these.
Exactly.
And it looks like you can level the perks up as you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
So yeah, I can make him, give him strength and crit, so make him hit harder and make him just this crazy tank who could just bash through. You can have multiple ones. Okay. Actually, that's the thing about heroic titles is you get one.
Okay.
You just get one.
I was looking like, can I push, +1 to 3, another to 5?
Yeah. So say I make him.
That's a hard choice.
It is.
Bulwark the Last Standing. Yeah.
And there's so many
like
choices.
20 options here.
Yeah. So I say I want to make him Bulwark the Last Standing. So I select that one. And now he has it. And you can see in heroic titles, all you can do is level it up. He is now the last standing. So it's as if his name has been carved onto a troll stone, or you know, has been sewn into the banner of this tapestry of the story. Like it's imprinted kind of on the history of how this all went down. We kind of want to evoke that feeling.
Sleepless nights.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
I'm going through each one.
Just
trying to weigh them out.
Yeah, right? It's so crazy how many options there are. Not just with this, but like with so many aspects of the game, you really get to build your own experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not an easy 1, 2, 3 situation. You're really combing through it.
Here's like 27 options. Have fun.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, players who have kind of been taking it step by step, this will be like a new layer to them. But you know, we give some good like tutorialization for a new player who'd be like, oh man, what is all this stuff?
Yeah, right.
You still have you know, the big variety of items and stuff. A lot of these are really fun because we've made it a Kickstarter reward, so we'd have them send a picture of a precious object of theirs and a little bit of text, and then we sort of take that and make it our art style.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Yeah, translate it into our game, so you can kind of
really
add these to your characters as you see fit. Ubin is a beloved character by fans. He's now a playable character in Saga 3. This was another Kickstarter stretch goal. He's the Scrivener, which is like a historian, but he's sort of decided to set down the quill and take up his axe again. So you kind of get the story of why he had to go back into battle.
I kind of just want to hug him.
Yeah, you know, he's kind of got that Santa appeal.
Yeah, he does. He does.
Like,
that's what it is.
Bring me toys.
He looks trusting.
And kill my enemies. Yeah.
It's like a badass Santa.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's about it. I can leave you with one of our kind of fully animated cutscenes, just to kind of carry us out.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Sounds great.
This is what the people of our brain have to deal with as they try and defend the last bastion of civilization.
I get excited for every cutscene. It's just visually.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So now we enter Ruin, the new Sunder that you have to battle in Saga 3.
Oh man.
Yeah.
He looked awesome.
Yeah.
He did.
It's
That's
actually
scary.
it's a she actually.
That's a
She?
she.
Yeah, Ruin.
That's how you know she's scary.
Yeah. Yeah. She's pissed.
Well, I'm very excited for this summer.
Yeah.
It is time. It's been two very long years.
Yeah.
We've been yes, it is time.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank
It's
you.
happening.
Yeah, thank you for your hard work on the game.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Well, I would like to thank the people who kind of came with us on this whole journey through this epic series of games. It's been 6 years in the making, from the beginning of the first game to now. So.
How does it feel being at the very end? Is it bittersweet for you?
A little bit bittersweet. Yeah, it won't feel like it's done until the players like play the game, you know, and really are like, oh, that's how it all ended. You know, like I'm excited to watch people kind of have that moment.
They can finally take a breath.
Yeah.
Oh, we did it.
You know, like 2 years ago, I got to sort of see how the story ends and have that, you know, reaction myself. But I'm excited for the players.
Everyone to finally, after all these years.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you guys. I will definitely be checking it out. Tell everyone where it will be available. I believe it's everywhere, right?
Yeah, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
We're gonna try and get the Switch release around the same time, but we started it a little bit
Now,
later.
Are 1 and 2 both releasing on the Switch at the same time?
They're releasing probably over the next couple of months. We'll first do Saga 1, then do Saga 2, and then you'll be queued up to play Saga 3. But when we release this summer, it'll be simultaneous release on PC and Mac, on Steam and GOG, and all the other PC Mac platforms, and then it'll be Xbox and PlayStation.
Well, I'm very much
everywhere.
excited. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm super excited. Tell the people where they can find you again.
BannerSaga.com, or you know, at BannerSaga on Twitter,
There you go.
Instagram.
Yeah, follow all the things.
Yes,
Yeah,
follow
all the
do the
things.
things.
Do
All
them.
of the things.
Well, thank you so much for taking
Yeah,
the time to
thank
join
you.
us.
Thank
It was
you so
really,
much.
I always love listening to developers talk about their games because the passion and love that you have for it really shows through, and it's like inspiring to me. You know,
Yeah.
I want to go make a game now, even though I have no
Yeah.
idea how to.
Oh man, everybody should make a game.
It's amazing.
It's really
Thank you
sad.
so much.
Thank
Well,
you.
stick around, everybody. We've got some awesome stuff coming up. Imperial Girl is going to be coming on to play Guild of Dungeoneering. I can't pronounce words anymore, apparently. Stick around. It's going to be great, and we'll see you soon.